Honored to welcome you all to the lockdown gardening discussion sessions. As you all know, sadly, we have missed several opportunities to meet as a group and enjoy our mutual company because of the current global situation. Given this, PUAAViC committee has decided to organize few meeting opportunities in a virtual platform like this until the restrictions are over. This is one of these sessions. We selected this topic because as Sri Lankans, we love to work in our backyard and grow vegetables, flowering plants, and the like. This is the right time of the year to start such hobbies. To help you in that, we have created a panel of experts to conduct these information sessions and answer your questions. We are very fortunate to have them with us to assist you with all your gardening questions. Please make a full use of them. Without further ado, I now hand over to Mr. Nirmalal Das to conduct the program. I hope you enjoy the proceedings and thank you for joining us. Nirmalal.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Herat Amare. Thank you for the introduction, Amare. Let me briefly go through how we are going to conduct this program. While first, let me thank Amare and the EXCO for organizing this program during this period of lockdown to discuss on home gardening. And I must mention at the start that this initiative was first taken up by Tikri Ranavira, who was in the EXCO committee and who was interested in organizing this. Unfortunately, he couldn't complete it, and as a result, the burden fell on me. So I have taken it up, and now I have organized it, and I'm sure Tikri is also watching this program, and I have organized this with 6 experts. Now let me first give a format of this whole series. Each session will be of 40 minutes duration. Now this session will be 40 minutes. Soon after 40 minutes, it will go off. We will come into another 40 minutes by going to the link and clicking again. The second 40 minutes we will concentrate on Q&A, questions and answers. You can ask any question you like in relation to what was discussed today, or anything on agriculture or home gardening. Okay, so and we will have 4 seminars, virtual discussions of this nature, and the first is today. Then in another fortnight, on the 10th of October, we will have the second discussion, and followed by 2 other discussions ending in early November, every fortnight, and the PUAAViC committee will send you the link and encourage you to join. Now, today's discussion, we will have 3 topics to be we will discuss 3 topics of 10 minutes duration each by 3 experts. And then we will go into Q&A. While these topics are being discussed, if you have a question, I would suggest that you go down the screen and go to chat and pose your question so that the person who is speaking will see the question along with the other resource personnel, and we will try to address that question of any participants through the chat instantaneously. But you will have a much longer time after the 3 discussions to pose your question. You can unmute your video and you can unmute the sound and ask any question you like, and we will answer. So you have 2 options, either at the chat or at the Q&A. You can post your questions on home gardening or agriculture in general. Okay, and the host, that is the PUAAViC organizer, Mudita, will mute all of you all while the topics are being discussed, and only at the Q&A time your mute will be taken out so that you all can post questions. And please keep your videos on, and you will see all the speakers speaking to the participants. At the moment, we are happy to say we have 49 participants at this first virtual discussion. Now, I suggest that you all keep a paper and a pencil close by, because I'm sure there'll be interesting points that would come up during the topics when they are being discussed, and also when questions are being answered. And also, it will be worth for you all to take down the mobile numbers of the resource personnel, which will appear when I introduce the resource personnel one by one in a PowerPoint presentation, or our mobile numbers are there in the flyer. You're free to ask questions even after the seminar by phoning any one of us. We will try to address your problems. Okay, so you're most welcome even to discuss later on through your mobile by speaking to any one of our resource personnel. Now, at the end of the Q&A, that is almost at the end of the first virtual discussion, I will run through a quick survey just to feel your pulse, whether this virtual seminar was of any interest, any shortcomings that you saw, so that we can note them down and correct them for the next three virtual discussions that will take place in the future. So now, without going any further, I will try to introduce the resource personnel involved in this program, in all these 4 virtual discussions. We have 6 resource personnel, and let me introduce. The first resource person who will deliver the first talk today is Kularatna Ratnayaka. I think most of you know him. Now, you can go through I will give a brief discussion. He's really one of the leading experts in mushroom growing. Now, he opened up a project even in Sri Lanka, in Kurunegala, a huge project to grow button mushrooms. Since then, I think he has given up to a Sri Lankan investor who is still carrying on. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it is through that project that the 5-star hotels in Sri Lanka receive button mushrooms for their use. Now, Kule lives here, and he's a well-known button mushroom person. In addition, he's the person who found out the technique of cultivating curry leaf seeds, of making seeds of curry leaves to germinate. it's very difficult. He developed the technique. So that is Kularatna. And now I will go to the second resource person. Kularatna is a soil scientist by profession. I will go to the second speaker today. He is Delin Kularatna, agricultural and resource economist. And he's quite well known in home gardening. Even today, if you go to his residence, you will see a lot of leafy vegetables being grown. And he is quite happy to help anyone with seeds. And his specialty is he uses every season, he uses his own seeds. He keeps seeds to be, he preserves seeds for the next season. He will talk about this on the fourth discussion when we discuss about how to keep seeds for the next season. That is Delin Kularatna, agricultural and resource economist. Yeah. Now the third speaker today, it is Kitsari Dasanayaka, and he's an agronomist and hydrologist. That means he's an expert in developing relationships between the plant and the environment and the plant and water. He's an expert on those areas, and he's a person who has tried out almost all the vegetables of all 4 seasons. Every season, according to the environment and water availability in which field he is expert, he has developed his agriculture on those lines. That is Kitsiri Dasanayaka, agronomist and hydrologist. Let's go to the next. The next, please. The next person is Renik Piris. He is a soil and plant scientist. Now, his specialty is to see the soil health. He is still working in the Department of Primary Industries, and he looks into the soil aspects of various areas of Victoria. And that is Renik, soil and plant scientist. He has no role today, but he'll be there as a resource person to answer questions. His speech will come in the next discussion. The fifth resource person is Sunil Vikramasinghe, my batchmate, who is a commercial agricultural specialist by virtue of the fact that he was working for Mahavilya Authority when he was in Sri Lanka. Yes, the last person is, of course, myself. Renik. The last person is myself, Nirmalal Dayas. I'm an agricultural marketing economist, and my really specialty is in agricultural marketing, and in my capacity, I have been promoting Sri Lankan exports to all over Sri Lanka. So these are the 6 resource persons in short. You have your, I hope you noted down the mobile numbers. You can speak to any one of us at any time. All of us, all 6 are agricultural graduates or graduates in allied fields. And they all have wide experience in agriculture. And more than that, they all have their own home gardens in which they cultivate all 4 seasons. So, participants, you are listening to 6 resource personnel who are well equipped to talk on home gardening. Thank you. Now, as I said, The last point, I will have a quick question here to find out the pulse of the people. And also, from next session, I'm trying to bring a resource person from Sri Lanka through Zooming to create an awareness of certain products of Sri Lanka, which has a special place among us, but we do not know that. Example, red basmati rice, you may not know, it is found only in Sri Lanka, and it has some very good special health qualities. I'm trying to get that expert to come by Zooming and give a clear picture of what red rice is. That is, if you all are interested in getting, which I will try to evaluate at the end of the seminar. Okay, that's about all. Let's go to the first topic. Yes, Kule, whom we call Mushroom Kule, can you can start speaking on your topic, which is growing. What are the most suitable vegetables to be grown in spring and summer? Yeah, Kule.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. It's glad to see a lot of familiar faces today. I am given this topic to select crops for spring and summer. But before going into details, I have to tell understanding gardening environment is the key to the success of home gardening. This principle basically applies for any agriculture. So one has to consider crop growing environment. So environment කියන්නේ මේ තියෙන වටපිටාව සියල්ල. We Sri Lankans mostly we have our experience in a tropical country where there is not much variation in the season. We have only some dry season and wet season. If you get water or irrigation, you can virtually grow anything in any time of the year, with few exceptions. So difference between Sri Lanka and Australia is that here everybody knows there are 4 seasons. For successful home gardening, you have to understand all these 4 seasons. Whereas in Sri Lanka, our job is much simpler. Temperature very much remains more or less same, and only the water availability changes from during the year. So, but once we come here, you may remember, most of us had the experience. We try to grow crops only during the summertime. So as we haven't got much experience in the winter or autumn or spring, slowly we try to understand what's going on. And if you fully understand it takes much more time to understand. Once you understand all this aspect of environment, you can virtually have crops throughout the year, so even during the winter. So your cropping environment at macro level, it is seasons. Here we have spring, summer, autumn, and winter. Then you have to think about the environment at the micro level. Even in a backyard, there are differences in the environment. If you can understand all this variation, you should understand, because then you can have a very successful home gardening. So some of the aspect in your backyard, I can tell, orientation of your land is very critical. Many people talk about northerly aspect of the garden. So if you have a southerly garden, it's different, in the same, maybe 200 meters away. So your environment is completely different. What you can do is limited. Then slope of your land and drainage condition. Then very critical factor is how many sunshine hours you can get in a particular time of the year to your garden. A fence can decide what is the environment, micro environment near a fence is quite different to maybe few meters away. So that all going to decide what you can grow. Then obviously getting into more details, things like type of soil, texture of the soil. Texture means, loam soil or sandy soil, that sort of aspects. Then nature of the subsoil, whether there is, here something we have not seen in Sri Lanka, salinity is quite common. Many people will tell you, you can see salt on your ground. So this, in that case, you have to select salt tolerant crops, Then minor details in your garden, if you have a big tree, under the tree, it's quite different. We can't see. The big trees got all their roots. We can't see, you think you go and establish a plot under the tree, you are not going to be successful because all these tree roots are there. They are competing with the crop for all the nutrients and water. So even some certain fruit trees, the gum trees are worst. So all these aspects you have to consider before doing it. The basic, wait a minute. So without going into details, I am coming into the season now. We are in the middle of the spring season now. Spring crops already now you should be having in the garden. Now it is probably too late to do spring crops. Spring crops are very much cruciferous type of crops such as cabbage, leeks, some certain onions and all that. They should have been planted in the latter part of the winter and probably early part of the spring. Now, still probably you have limited space to do a bit of spring onion, and that's red beets. You can still have time, because rather than going into deep into the summer. But you should not plant any cabbage type of cabbage, kale, that sort of plant now, because soon the weather will be very warm. In 1 month, then you are going to in trouble having caterpillars and butterflies and aphids, white flies, and all these problems are virtually difficult to control, without very strong insecticides. Now I have in my garden at the moment, I have mature crops of kale, nocol, cabbage, and beet and leeks, but I'm not going to plant them now. Now is the time to think very much about summer type of vegetables. So there are tomato, if you go to shops, you can find various tomatoes. It's better to, plant good varieties. Then you can start now pumpkin. You can raise the plant inside the house sometime, and raise it and go and plant a bit later on. Chili, you can have nurseries now. Paprika, Sri Lanka spinach, all these plants still a bit too early in the spring. So in about 4 weeks time, sorry, not 4, maybe 2-3 weeks time, you can plant them. One may even try, as I can remember, few of my friends did, you can plant for long beans, even patola. But if you want to do, these are a bit challenging, but you have to start pretty early. Probably you can raise them inside the house in a pot, and then you can go and plant them in the garden a bit later on. So that's what I am at the moment doing, trying to grow.
Kule,
Yeah.
Kule, just a small thing. The time is running out. When the time goes off, please click again and rejoin, and we will continue. Please
No,
click again the same link and rejoin. Okay, Kule, you have about 3 or 4 minutes more.
Yeah, I'm finishing
good.
pretty quickly.
Yeah, okay, good. There is one question, Kule. A participant has asked how to detect salinity. If you have the time, explain that.
Okay, yeah, salinity. Yeah, I will come into that little bit later. So you can plan. Plan to plant all this. What I said: the eggplants, beans, cucumber. All these. Some of them are long-term crops. You know, they need much longer time, maybe 3-4 months to get the full benefit. So in that case, you have to start early. Don't wait till the middle of the summer to start all that, you know, because you have to plant all these things in generally well ahead of your season. That's the trick, or that's the key to success of your gardening. Autumn crops, you have to start probably late summer, you know, don't wait till the autumn. Sri Lankan spinach is a very good crop. You know, I have grown it for many times. I have plenty of seeds. If anybody need, I can provide. Send me a self-enrolled stamp envelope. I will give you 10 seeds. They are very nice, you know, easy to grow. So as I said, too early for most of the summer vegetables. So I will answer that question. Salinity thing. Salinity of the soil, you can see the little bit white crust appearing on your soil surface. Have anybody seen it? You know, or sometime you can even taste and find out. Sometimes you see the salt taste. So salinity is, you know, in many cases, you cannot see the surface salinity. It is very much in the subsoil condition. But yeah, so the salinity is, even you find salinity in the pots inside the house, you can salinity can develop, you know, because you go on watering your pot plants, the water always have a bit of salt. So if there is not enough leaching from your pot, eventually salinity is going to build up in your pot and you kill the plant. You will not see. Sometime in the outside of your pots, you can see the salt crust formation. So that gives the signal you have to do something. Soak that pot in the water and you can wash salinity and you can save the plant. Yeah, okay. I think that's all I can tell at the moment. If you are interested, you know, you can, at the moment, this is the best time to prepare your seedling nurseries for your summer crops. If you are lazy to do, best is you go to your nursery, the commercial nursery, Bunnings or something, what's the plants available are, they are the plants for the particular season. That's the shortcut. Somebody told me that trick long time ago. So they sell plants suitable for the season. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.